like, excuse me for my face, but this is kind of late and I really wanted to do this now. I don't know, let's try and do this. I'm gonna show you and maybe do a small declutter of my eyeshadow palettes. I think I have to go through a lot, so let's get started. I picked up a chair and then I will show you the whole thing that I have my makeup on, sorry. But I'm going to start, like these two drawers are both eyeshadow palettes. On the first one, I don't think I will declutter anything, but I will go with it through it with you guys so that you just can see what are the palettes that I have. I have some palettes on my go-to bag, and then I have a drawer also near my vanity that I have the palettes that I most use, so I don't think I will be decluttering anything there. But let's see here what I will do. So I'm gonna start with the bottom one. So in here I have like a little bit of mess. Like I have a few here that are bright because I'm still trying to organize everything over this huge pile of makeup. But like I know that there are palettes here that I will never use again, and some of them are older, like the ones that I have like sentimental to me. I don't even have them here because they are past the point of being able to be used, and they were very cheap. Like one it's Makeup Revolution and another one it's from Primark. But let's get into this. I'm gonna start with this three over here. These are by W7. These are pressed glitter eyeshadow palettes. That's nothing wrong with them. It's just that when I have so many stuff as I do, and I'm gonna show you why I'm decluttering this, guys, because I was developing my very own glitter formula, and I was starting to create a Z palette with them. I was going to sell them individually, but then the pandemic started and I couldn't find any suppliers. So, you know, I had to stop. But this wasn't just because the only reason, and I really like my formula and it doesn't irritate my eye, but the reason was because I have two brands of glitters that I love, and these are from With Love Cosmetics. I pretty much have almost the entire collection, and they are really good. They are really creamy, and they were incredibly expensive. And it wasn't just because of the price, but when we're competing with this, like, I don't feel the need to pick these up. I also have this palette over here. This outside palette is for Makeup Obsessions, but what's inside, it's from Music Glitter, which is a Portuguese brand, and like their glitters are incredible, and I'm starting to make the entire collection. I already have like a big palette of these to put in more glitters because they are all out of stock due to Black Friday. But like I was saying, sorry because I was interrupted, I'm going to make my very own custom palette from Music Glitter. But these are sort of the colors that my clients ask the most, and I can't count how many times I have already purchased this one over here, which is called Athena, and like it's the most versatile glitter ever. And this here, the Pure Pearls, is just incredible. I mean, I will never declutter this ever. So these are my glitter palettes with Love Cosmetics, my Musa, and my very own formula, and these are not going anywhere because I'm a glitter whore. This can go. This can go. I also have here my pigments. They're not a lot, but there are quite a few. I have some that I wanted to declutter, but I won't do this today, I think, or maybe I will do at the end. So right now I'm gonna leave them here on the drawer here. So this is the Urban Decay Moondust palette. I bought this out of an impulse. Like, everybody talks good about this palette, and it's really incredible. And like, I'm gonna show you. Like, the shadows are just amazingly pigmented. Like this blue here, I mean, come on, they are incredible. I love it. That's why I bought the palette in the first place, but then I just keep on losing her because I keep on pushing them back into the drawer. So what I need to do, I need to use this more because I really love the formula of this palette, and I love the shadows in general. It's very good to finish looks. And it is Urban Decay, and it's not a brand that I really love, Urban Decay, but this palette is good. And the Party Flavor, or Party Favor, I wanted to try out, but I need to use this more, so I won't declutter this time. But if I don't use it in the next 6 months, I will end up decluttering it. So this here was the only palette left from the Douglas store. This is their own brand. This is like a mini, I don't know, thing. Don't get me wrong, the formula is amazing. I'm just going to declutter this because I remember when I bought them, it was on a Black Friday sale and they marked it was like €7 and like very good price, €7 before 12. And I came to the conclusion, even after the Black Friday, they were always €7 and not 12. So it was a scam, and I bought the entire bunch, and this was the only one that was left because it reminded me the color scheme of the Urban Decay Naked 2. But since I have a sea of palettes and you are going to see on this drawer why, I don't need this in my collection, so it's gonna go. One palette that really surprised me the most was this one over here by Sample Beauty. This is the Equalizer Palette Volume 2. I still have the Equalizer Palette Volume 1 waiting to arrive. Like, it's taking so long, like already a month. But whatever, it will arrive. And I have another 2 more palettes from Sample Beauty to arrive as well, because I wanted to try the formula, and I'm really drawn to this sort of color scheme. I have to say that this palette is incredible. Like, the shimmers are super creamy. I mean, you can see how creamy the shades are, and the mattes are incredibly pigmented, and they look like butter when you are blending them into the eye. So of course this palette, it's going to stay. Also, it's very recent, and I still need to work around her a little bit more and do more looks with her. And like, I bought it on sale for €10, so it was a good price. Sofx Makeup Revolution. Oh look, it's my ring light. And yes, I record the videos with my phone because I don't have a professional camera. Whatever. So this is the Sofx palette. Like, it's really used. I really loved this palette for a while, and I also had the Sofx original palette with Makeup Revolution, and I sold that one. But this one, I don't know, the color scheme is really good. And this is kind of the palette that I'm still torn if I stay with her or not, just to be a good drugstore option. So for now, I'm gonna put her on the maybe pile. I have here 2 palettes from Beauty Bay Collection. They are very recent. The first one is the Sunset Horizon. This is a palette that reminds you of the sunsets. Just for you to see. Again, the shades are super pigmented and the metallics are incredibly pigmented and super creamy. So I am going to keep her in my collection because she is very new and she was super cheap, and I still haven't done a look with her, so I still need to use it on a video or something. And this is the Book of Magic. I just love the packaging, like, it's incredible. And the color scheme, I really do love her. Like, I love blue eyeshadow and like purples and the nudes, and this palette, it's beautiful. And again, the formula is just incredible, and like this blue, come on, this is just incredible. I really love this palette. I'm not gonna get rid of her. I love her. Love her. So she is staying. This here, I don't need to mention anything. Like, Blood Sugar, Jeffree Star. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know this palette, it's incredible. Like, look at her. I don't wear a lot of reds, to be quite honest, or pinks, even though I am very attracted to this kind of color scheme. But I really love the Jeffree Star formula, and this row here, it's very usable. And the other ones are incredible, like this here to make like a plump look. It's incredible. So of course this is staying. Did you really think I was gonna sell her? No. Or declutter her? No. These 2 Latte London, they gotta go. Like, when I bought them, I really thought that I was gonna wear them, but I think that they were a good substitute for my Huda Beauty Neon Obsessions that I never had them all. I only had the pink and then I sold her. They're just too bright. Like, I don't know, I don't like oranges. It's not kind of my thing. The metallics are good, super creamy. If I had to stay with any of them, I would have stayed with this because of this hot pink over here, and like this green is incredible and this shade is unique. But I have this shade on a Huda Beauty palette and on the Sample Beauty Equalizer palette, and like it's good, it's portable, but I just, sorry, my dogs are barking. I just can't justify myself to keep them both. So like this shade here in the middle is amazing, but I can't justify myself to keep them, so they're going. Then this is my last Morphe palette. Not that I don't like the brand, but like I just don't use it. I think it's a little bit chalky, the formula, even though they are of very good color scheme. This is the Jaclyn Hill Armington Gorgeous. Like the color scheme is amazing. It's everything I ask for. It has this navy, like not navy, sorry, this like army green, and I really love it. But at the end of the day, I never use it, so it's going by. Beauty Bay, Mama Mitchell. Love this palette, love it to death. Bought, I think it was the last unit on Beauty Bay. Like, I've used her. The shadows are incredible, but do I want to keep her? Yes, I do. I love this palette, but I never use it, and I promised the girl I would sell her, but I'm having so many second thoughts about this palette towards her, and I'm gonna keep her. I'm not gonna sell her. Then we have the XX Revolution. This is the Exposed. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. It's good. I'm a little bit towards if I keep her or not. Like, it's my kind of thing, but at the end of the day, these two shades look the same on the lids. You know what? I don't need this. I'm gonna get rid of it. And at the same wave, I have the Experiment, which is the blue one. And this here, well, this here is beautiful. And this one, I kind of want to keep her. I'm thinking about it, like, just because of this blue here. Like, I don't know. This is going to go on the maybe palette. Beauty Bay X Sneaky Tutorials. Love this palette. Love it to death. Don't need to explain why. Just do. Of course I'm going to keep her. Oops. Jouer Tan Lights. Bought this palette because of the blue shade. Thought that I was going to love her. It's not that it's bad, but it's not very pigmented. I mean, it's just not what I wanted her to be. Like, it's very hard to pick the shade up. It looks good on camera, but if you could see how patchy it looks in real life, and like, look at this swatch, like, yeah, on the finger looks amazing, but you can't catch it with a brush. And I just don't know, like, the mattes here are not as pigmented. Like, I just don't know. You know what? I'm gonna declutter her. It's going by. Beauty Bay Pastels. It's not my favorite from the brand. It's just I don't have any palette with these shades, and it's good to blend out like very deep, bright looks. It's a very dusty palette, and it's not as pigmented as you intend it to be, but it's good. Okay, it's reasonable and the price is okay, so I am going to keep her for now. Be Perfect, Carnival 3, Love Tahiti. What do you think I'm gonna do with her? Of course it's going to stay. Like, I only have ever wore it once, and this was sent to me, but yeah, I need to wear it more because it's beautiful. So of course this is staying. And then I have the older sister, the Carnival XL Pro. I have the Carnival one, the smaller, but I sold her because the shades that palette had, it have them in here, and the other one have other unique shades, but you know, this here completely fills the taste as well, so why would I keep two of pretty much the same thing if I have them here? And like this one, I wore it a lot. It doesn't look like it, but this shade here, it was very worn out. This here, this one, like I wore this palette a lot. And surprisingly, the shade that I didn't wear a lot was like the neutrals. So you're asking about if this palette is going to stay? Yes, it is. I am going to keep my Carnival XL. Night and Day, Makeup Revolution. Have all of them. Sold them all. Regretted myself, they're Pat McGrath dupes. I think I'm gonna keep her because why not? Like, these are the sort of shades that you apply, they swatch pretty well and they apply beautifully on the eye. So it's going on the maybe pile. Okay, so I went to the top drawer and picked them all out because, you know, it's a lot of palettes here, so I'm gonna start on, like, you have a lot to see here. I'm gonna start with the ones on the top just to clear this out, and we're talking about the Beauty Bay Bright palettes. So this is the Bright Matte with the 9 shades. Like, this is very recent to my collection, like a week old. It's been around in the market and it's a really good, nice and stable palette to go. So I am going to keep her just for now because she's 1 week old. Then I have the 16-1. This is the Bright, not only matte because it has some shimmers on it, which is really good and versatile. So I'm going to keep her as well. And then we go to the big and large ones. Like, this was the first I ever tried from this brand and I really love it. That's why I bought pretty much all of them. And the Bright Matte is just incredible. Like, the quality of this palette is just amazing. Like, I wore a lot of the pink shadows right here, especially this one here, and it's just an incredible palette. I really love it. Wore this green a lot, even though I'm not a very green kind of person, but I do love this palette. It's very bright and it still has a row of neutrals, so it's really good. I mean, I could be sitting here talking about this palette, how incredible it is, but I'm gonna say buy it because you really need to try it. Then I have the Brights. This is 1 week old in my collection. This was gifted to me by Beauty Bay with one order that I did. I still have not yet touched her. Same thing as the Brights. Like, I think that the mattes will work the same. I don't know about the shimmers. People say that this is not as good because of the shimmers. Like, on the blues, you only have like 3 matte blues and then 3 matte, like 3 shimmers, blues. Like, I know, I still have to check this out and really try her. I have not yet touched her. I'm being a good girl to be able to test this out on a video. Then, Jeffree Star Thirsty Palette was sold out, was discontinued. Beauty Bay sent me an email saying that they had stock it. Wanted this since ever. Best palette I ever tried. That was one of the discontinued ones. Like, the middle row, this here, like, it's so good. This palette is amazing, and the pops of color, this palette is great for the summer. Of course, this is going to stay. Tati Beauty, what do you think I'm gonna do with this palette? Come on, I waited a year to have this palette. Finally got it. And it's the most incredible neutral palette I have ever tried. It has mattes, it has sequin, it has metallics, it has glitter. Like, look at this precious beauty. Of course, I'm not gonna get rid of her. I mean, you can see how I already wore a lot of her and you can see very well, but she's very dirty, even though I try to clean it as much. Has a huge mirror. The black, the matte black here is just incredible. Of course, this isn't going anywhere, like anywhere. Then I received this for Christmas. This is the Ordeal palette by Jeffree Star. You all know this palette as well. Incredibly beautiful. A matte dream for any makeup artist, and I really do love her. I did a look with her and like amazing. So yeah, and it really complements well with the Thirsty palette, especially the middle row with the Thirsty palette, because the mini orgy wasn't available, and it was, I don't know, it had some inconsistencies with the formula and he pulled her back. So yeah, this isn't going anywhere. I don't think I will declutter. This is not going, this is staying, sorry, the Jeffree Star orgy one. This is where it gets weird because I don't know if I will declutter anything from here. Like, I'm just gonna show you, okay? So Charlotte Tilbury, first product I ever have of hers. I got this from a store in Instagram. This is the Pillow Talk palette. Like, the palette is incredible. I did a video on my channel about her. It's very good, very neutral for the daily base, very like sort of pinkish. In my very honest opinion, for what it costs, I think it could be a little bit better. Even though I love this palette, okay, I love her to death, I think it wasn't necessary to be as expensive as it is. Just saying. Anastasia Norvina. I had the Soft Glam and the Modern Renaissance, and I sold them because I didn't wear them, not because they were bad, and then I regret it. But this is my most worn eyeshadow palette from ABH. Like, this top row here is incredible. The mattes are powdery, but they blend out so well. Hair. But like, this palette is just very beautiful, very wearable for the daily basis, and like, I don't intend to ever get rid of her, so she stays. Riviera. Like, when I bought this palette, I couldn't buy, like, I couldn't spend any money, and so I gathered up the money to buy her. It was my birthday present from me to me. I wore it like 3 times tops. It is an incredible palette. It is incredible quality, and it is one of the few ABH palettes that I have. So I'm gonna keep her because I want to. I don't have to justify this, but no, I'm gonna keep her because it was one of those palettes that I'm very proud of myself, because I set the goal. I wanted to buy her because I didn't have money at the time, and I really gathered all cents and any kind of money I had to buy her, so I'm gonna keep her. It was conquest for me. The Soul Trip one, also by ABH. It's loved as well. This palette was brought by my father from Paris. When I wanted this, it was sold out everywhere here in Portugal, and it wasn't going to come back, and I asked my dad to bring me from Paris. I live in Portugal. My dad lives in France. He works there, and he kind of went on and off to try and get this. That's why I'm not going to get rid of her, and also because I really like her. Like, the shimmers are incredible, the mattes blend out so good, and this, it actually has a very similar color scheme to the Glam palette by Natasha Denona, and I'm a little bit of a whore with the brand Natasha Denona, but like, I feel like I have the same color scheme here, and this is very sentimental to me, so I'm not gonna sell this one or get rid of her because she's really good. I really like the quality of this, and it lasts a lot of time in the eyes, so I'm gonna get her right over here, and she stays. And my last acquisition from Anastasia, well, it's not the last, but it's the last that I have with me right now. This is the Amaranzi palette. Like, I wasn't going to buy this, and then I saw reviews online, and I was like, I need to have this. I really do need to have this. So everywhere it was sold out, and I went to my local Sephora, and they're like, oh, we have one in stock. I'm like, give it to me, please. And I didn't open it in store, and like, this shade came broken. Like, you can't notice, but it came a little bit broken and a little bit dirty, but the palette is incredible. It's so good. Like, these shades here and this here are the ones that there were in the Modern Renaissance palette and that I loved. And then the shimmers, it has pressed glitters. This blue here is just incredible. The pink, the barb shade, it's just, I don't know. This palette is incredible. It was worth every penny, and I don't regret buying her. I wanted to try the Jackiana and like the pink one, like Alyssa Edwards, I think, and the Carly Bible, but like, this one really caught my eye, and the packaging is just beautiful. So she stays. Now let's talk about Too Faced. I think I only have 2 palettes of Too Faced. Like, this is the Pumpkin Spice. When it came out, I already had her for like a week. This is a very good palette. It's like very neutral, but it has pops of color, so it's very wearable. And like the shimmers, especially this one, the Fall Vibes and DSL and Chill, they are so beautiful. Like, I'm gonna do a swatch. Like, she stays. Like, I don't have a lot of palettes from Too Faced, and this kind of make the cut. I used to have like the Sweet Peach and everything, but I kind of sold them because I was kind of tired of the color scheme. So this stays because I really like her. I did a video with her. I had like 30,000 views, so sentimental. She stays. Oops. Now, Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty. Like, I have these and this one. So I'm not going to get rid of any of these three. Why? Because they were gifts by my father that brought me from France. They were sold out here in Portugal, never gonna get them, and I asked him and he brought them to me. Like, this is the Mauve Obsessions. Again, I love this sort of shades, so she stays. And it's very nice and portable if I ever travel again, if this crap about COVID stops. And then the Electric, because it's a very beautiful bright palette, and I really love this shade over here. Like, I love this palette. And again, sentimental. My father gave it to me. Like, my family doesn't like makeup. They don't understand why I spend so much money on makeup, and they gave it to me. So I'm gonna stay with her. And then the Smoky Obsession, like, I mean, look at her. I mean, look how beautiful she is. And the black one in here is just incredible. Of course, she stays. I have like 3 more of these collections, but I ended up selling them because I didn't wear them. So I'm not crazy, but yeah. Then of the Precious Stones or Gemstones Obsessions kind of collection, I only kept these 2 because I thought that they were the most unique. Sold the green one because, like I said, I can't work with greens. The topaz ones, that it's like the brownish ones, I sold because, again, I have so many neutrals. And then the red ones, I don't wear red, so I kept these 2. Like the purples, which are incredible. I mean, you can see how much I use this palette and abused. And the blues, because I am a sucker for blue eyeshadow, and I didn't know that I love blue eyeshadow as much as I do, so yes, she stays, obviously. The large palettes by Huda, I decluttered one, which was a Desert Dusk, sadly, but you know, wasn't wearing them, so whatever. This is the Rose Gold Remastered palette, and I really like this palette, very neutral. I sometimes pick her up. I mean, you can see why I love her. Like, these shades over here are incredible, and the mattes as well. Like, you can't see, but this is so damped, and this one here as well. I mean, yeah, you can see it, but this palette is just incredible. I really love it, still do. What I do, I like often clean my palettes, that's why they don't look as dirty and as used as they could, but this is going to stay. Then by order, I have the New Nudes by Huda Beauty. I thought about decluttering her, but she pairs really beautiful with Mercury Retrograde. That's why I'm keeping her. Also beautiful to wear on brides, so of course she stays. Why would I get rid of her? Duh. Then I got the Mercury Retrograde, again another palette I wasn't going to buy, but I saw a girl selling her for 30 euros, and I was like, how can I miss this? Like, look at this, it's just beautiful. It came smashed in the post, it wasn't the girl's fault. Like, this shade here came smashed, this came smashed, but like, I pressed it, it was fine, and it's good, so it stays. And then my recent acquisition from her, the Naughty palette, is just incredible. Like, neutrals, I love it. Like, I love this palette. I haven't been wearing because I have a lot that I received, so that's why I don't have to, like, I haven't been wearing her, but she is incredible. And like, these shades are so unique, like, you will love it. The only thing here is this one, but if you use it as a gloss, you'll be fine with her. And like, one shade, why wouldn't you buy a palette just because of one shade? Sadly, I will have to say that my least favorite is the Love palette. Again, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it spreads, I mean, the quality is incredible and you don't need to do a red look with her, but like, it's my least favorite palette, but it's Natasha Denona. I, of course, am going to keep her. And this is my least favorite of the brand, okay? But it's still up there against others. So, of course, this is staying. And because of the pile is so big, like, look, and these are very expensive palettes, I'm going to keep her right over here because she's a keeper. Then again, the Sunrise palette, like, I feel like the quality of the smaller palettes are not as good as the bigger one, but it's still a very good quality compared to some that I showed you up here. Like, not that I don't love the color scheme, I don't know, warm color, I love neutrals, but these sort of neutrals kind of leave me a little bit off, but I still need to work a little bit with this palette, like the Love One, but you know, she's a keeper as well. Then it's not one of my favorites, and this was actually sent to me by Natasha Denona itself in a giveaway that she did, and I won it, and it leaves me a little bit sad to say that I raved this palette so much and I wanted this palette so much. It's limited edition, it has been discontinued, and like, I wanted this palette incredibly hard. Like, I was saving up to get her, and then all of a sudden I won the giveaway and I was like, I'm not gonna buy anything Natasha Denona related because I don't know what she's going to send me. And when I opened the box and I saw this, I literally screamed and cried. I wasn't counting on it, and it's not that it's a bad palette. The quality, it's very good. I really love this palette quality terms. It's just the color scheme that leaves me a little bit off, but like, Natasha Denona's shadows are just nuts, and like, I really love it. But looking at it from all the palettes that she has, like, this is the one that, of the big ones, that I'm not very inclined to. If this was blue, I would have loved it like shit tons. All right, now this has no order of preferences because I have not yet did that, but this was my first Natasha Denona palette I bought with my very own money. It was the Sunset, was the only available in Sephora at the time because they were like testing if people wanted this brand, which people did, thank God, because it's a very incredible, hard to find brand. I mean, you can see how loved this palette really is. Really love her. Has neutrals, warms, but these are the sort of warms that I like. Compared to the Sunrise, this beats the Sunrise. Quality, form, like the formula, it's better here, and the color scheme I prefer on this one, so this stays. Then I really love the bronze palette, bought it on the pre-sale, wore it to death. I really love this palette, don't need to say much, like the quality of these shadows are incredible and the metallics are dreamy, so she stays. The Metropolis palette is just a dream. Was, at a time, my favorite palette. I mean, you can just understand why. You can see that it has been very used. This blue here is just incredible. The greens are incredible. And again, I'm not a green kind of person. The mattes, you don't have a lot of mattes here, but they are incredible. And they're kind of creamy to powdery sort of thing. And the shimmers are just amazing. I mean, you can do a variety of looks over here and you won't get disappointed with this palette. Then the most recent ones I'm gonna show you my boyfriend's Christmas gift, was the Safari palette. I wasn't going to buy this palette, and when it came all dirty like this, and it's kind of benty, doesn't hold like normally they do, because I think it was a little bit damaged on the post, but whatever. I'm just glad it arrived because it was lost, like 100 euros lost, so more than 100 actually. And this is just a matte dream from Natasha Denona. I mean, you can do a lot from here, and as makeup artists, I love this, you know, just to wear clients. This is incredible. I haven't been getting a lot of clients lately, and I only got this for Christmas this past year 2020, so I'm intending to use this a lot on my clients, so of course this stays. Also was a gift from him, and he doesn't love me to buy makeup, so this says a lot, and this is expensive. Then I have the Biba It was supposed to be a limited edition, but I think now it's a permanent palette. But this is neutrals that I love. I love this palette. Everything about her I love. Has grays, it has a black, it has like a beige, it has browns, warm browns, a deep kind of brown, because in here it looks very light, but it's a dark brown. If you mix it up with a black, amazing. Like this sort of, like, I don't know how to describe this brown, but this palette is incredible. This pens any type of comments, it's just incredible. I mean, I love her. So of course she stays. Then I got the gold palette. I mean, this Black Friday I got a little bit nuts. I got the gold palette, and the gold palette is just incredible, worth every penny. I mean, you open this up and you're like, it looks the same, does it? Like when you apply it then on the eyes, it's so different. And especially like the golds, like look at this, and like these browns are all different on the eye. This sort of mustardy, it's just incredible. And this is like a topper, okay? And it's just, look at this, oh my god, OMG. Like this is a topper, all right? It's not a deep blue like it stayed on the finger. It's a topper shade, and like, oh, this is a look. This is a look. Good, love it. Like, I'm a neutral sucker, so of course I was going to love this palette. And like these pops of like bright, that it's not a bright, like these pops of color besides the neutrals, it's just good. And like this here is also very beautiful, but it's also a topper. But this palette is incredible. Like, yes, Natasha, yes. And then the last one from the brand that I raved and died to get her, and she's amazing. Kind of a little bit disappointed because she does claim that this is a triochrome palette, but it only has 3 shades that are triochrome, and to be honest, they're not as chromey as you intend them to be. Like, I'm gonna make swatches for you. Like, I think that the only ones that you are going to see triochrome on, it's this one, which is the color Flip. This one, the Kinetic, I don't know which color it's going to switch because it looks the same. Like, I think it's more periwinkle and then a little deeper purple, while this one goes towards pink to a coppery shade. And this green here, it's kind of unique. It's like gold to green. I love this one. But if she was trying to do with this palette sort of the same thing as she did with the liquid shadows, it didn't achieve that. I'm really sorry to say, but the color scheme, it's quite interesting, and the shades are very interesting, and they stay very different on the lid than what it appears here. And don't get me wrong, like, you look at this and you say, what sort of looks I'm gonna do here? Like, you can do a lot. You can really do a lot, from neutrals to brights, and this is very versatile. I'm only disappointed not because of the color scheme, but like for a triochrome palette, like when I bought it, yes, I knew I would only have like 3 shades like that, but for the price, she could have made more shades like this ones. That's the only disappointment about this palette, because the quality, it's incredible. I mean, it's Natasha Denona, so. Okay, so Be Perfect Manifest palette. Wanted this. I knew that they only sold this as a kit. Waited for them to sell separately. Loved and loved. Cried to have her. I don't know if it was because of the day that I woke up and I was, I don't know, inspired. I tried to do like 6 different looks. Didn't work. And I said I would give up on this palette. But like when I opened her, I was like, please wear me. Like, look at this shade. Look at it. So I'm going to hold on to her for a few more days or weeks until I wear it. But if I don't, I will sell her. Then Tarte. I think that this is the only palette I have from the brand. And this is the High Tides and Good Vibes. I wanted this for a very long time. Bought it from a girl on Instagram. She's actually a good friend of mine. We stayed friends. The palette is incredible. Do I wear it? No. Do I want to keep it? Yes. Because packaging. I have ideas for beauty room. So I am going to keep her. Sorry. I'm not going to declutter her. Okay, so I went on my makeup bag that I take to work every day to make my makeup on the go. And I went to the drawer that I have near my vanity. So let's go to the end. So this is another Beauty Bay brand. I don't have the big one of this one because I didn't thought it was necessary, because again, warm neutrals, like fiery ones, like Urban Decay, something that I don't remember the name, Naked Heat, that I decluttered months ago. Like, this is cool, very portable. The shades here are incredible. Quality is amazing because this one, it's like virgin. I have not yet touched it. Has 1 week old, but I say this because this is like 2 months old, and like, I love this palette. I mean, you can't really tell, but I have already wore this palette so much. You can't really tell, but I did wear this so much and I really love it. So I bought the mini one as to be a very cool option for the matte, because mattes are what I run out the most. Then I have the nude, the big one. I bought this because I wasn't going to buy the Jeffree Star one, the Orgy, and then I received it at Christmas. Again, this is a very good quality palette. If you don't want to spend 70 euros on a Jeffree Star, this is a very good option. Has the mattes that you need and also has some shimmers. So it's a very good addition. Also, I have worn this palette a lot. Like, you can see here, this shade, this one. Like, I wore this a lot. Like, the metallics I have not yet touched because I'm a sucker for pigments and glitter. So that's why. So this stays as well. Then I ordered the 16, the sort of half size. Very good, very portable, and again, shimmers, mattes, all you need. And then the nude matte, which is a smaller one, again has the mattes that I use the most. So I ordered her, and this one that has in no other palette from Beauty Bay. That's why. So she stays as well. Beauty Bay still. This is the Origin palette. This is one of the original Beauty Bay palettes. Came with a discount code to wear on the next purchase, but I don't think I will be making any purchase because I'm a little bit towards Beauty Bay, the store, because like I paid express shipping on 2 orders, and like I did one on the 16th and I'm still waiting for her, and I did one on the 18th and I already received that, and both were paid express shipping, and the one I did first is still stuck in the UK and I don't know why, and it's 100 euros. So Beauty Bay, what's up? And they don't answer anything, and they keep on saying, no, it's standard delivery, and I'm like, don't you see what I paid? Like, come on. But this is very good. Again, mattes incredible. The shimmers a little bit but this one here is incredible. This here is incredible, but the mattes work really well. And again, I prefer a good matte shade because you can then use pigments. Like, I don't care about if palette it's not good, like metallics related. So she is staying, and she's actually in my vanity, so I can wear it a lot. But I will start to keep these palettes for workshops that I will do and courses. So yeah, this here is the Be Perfect Clientele palette. This isn't going anywhere. This was my most used palette on clients this past year. I mean, this palette here is incredible. It's not going anywhere. I love the quality and I love Be Perfect shadows, so she stays. And she's in my vanity. I don't know why, but she just is. So yeah. What can I say about Viseart? I think it's like that we pronounce. So this is the Paris edit. I bought it because it was small, very portable, shades that I love. What can I say? It's not that the quality it's bad. It's just for the price is not as good. Like, this shade here is unique, but again, Sephora sent it to me in the post and it was all dirty. I had to clean her up. The shadows were very loose. Like, it's cool and I get the packaging idea, it's fine, but like 50 euros for this? I'm still thinking, how can I have paid 50 euros for this? but I'm gonna keep her because she's portable and expensive, and I still wanted to test it out a little bit more to see if it was the first impressions, but I think it wasn't. Then this is the ABH Norvina Volume 1, the small one. I bought this for 15 euros at Sephora. I was going to buy it from a friend for 20, but I wasn't sure if I wanted her because of the color scheme, so I said to her, I'm not going to buy any more eyeshadow palettes, I have too many. And then I went to Sephora, and like 15 euros, I'm like, bargain, buy. Like, I know, help a friend, it's only 5 euros more, but it's 15 euros, so it was a 5 euro discount, and I bought a few other things, so that's why I bought her. And she's actually really good. I was going to regret myself if I didn't. Too Faced Razzle Dazzle Berry Eyeshadow Palette. It's amazing. Smells like berries. I love it. Do I ever wear it? Sometimes I do. Yeah, because this shade here is just incredible. But I do have this shade on another Huda Beauty palette, but like this is a little bit different.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna
put it in here. Everything was about to collapse, so I'm gonna keep her. This Catrice one. Okay, you're gonna find this funny because I only kept this palette because of this shade here, which is a shade that I use to fill in my brows, but she's going. I'd wear it, like, and I have other products now for brows, so I'm gonna get rid of her. And I have minis from Natasha Denona. Like, if you want to start with a palette from Natasha and you don't know what, buy the Mini Nude. It's the most similar formula to the big ones. Very versatile, very neutral, and sort of warm neutral. And it's really good, and you can always get a discount on these, like in Sephora. If you are like paying attention, you can get them like 20 euros instead of 27. Then this one, it's the Retro, which is really beautiful. Like, this shade here is just incredible, and I love the color scheme, which is sort of pinkish. And then this is the Christmas one from this year, and it's the Mini Zendo, and it looks like this. Again, don't think it's the same. It is not the same. It's similar, like it reminds you one another, but the shades are completely different. Like, I like these mini ones because they're very portable and easy to carry, and I want to have the others, so I am going through a no buy phase through this year because I want to gather money for some projects that I have in mind. So I didn't bought the rest of these because if I want to spoil myself this year every time I feel down, I think I will buy the minis because I know I love them, and that's why I stopped buying makeup. If I want to do something for myself, like treat myself, I will, but I have so many and I need to be thankful about everything I have. Like, I don't feel the need to have any more, even though I still have 4 orders to arrive, but only one is eyeshadow palettes. Well, 2 actually. I'm waiting for the Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 2, which is all blues. That I don't have an all blues palettes aside from the Beauty Bay one. And I'm waiting for 3 sample beauty palettes, but that's it. And then it's just some foundations and stuff for the face. So I will spoil myself with smaller palettes, but for now I think I'm good, so I'm gonna keep them. All right, and since I'm being very cutthroat, I forgot my maybe pile, but I'm gonna declutter the 3 of them. Like, I love them, but if I put them in the maybe pile, it means that I'm not sure, and if I'm not sure 100% if they are in the maybe pile, I will never use them. So these 3 are also going. All right, so in here, in this drawer, I put in the palettes that I want to keep next me in my vanity, just because I want to wear these. Like, I try and do a rotation throughout my palettes, and I decided to put this in here, and I'm going to explain a little bit of the process why. Like, I put this sultry one because it's like more cool tone eyeshadow palette. If you know, I want to do a cool tone look. I put in the Naughty because it was one of the most recent palettes that I got, and I really love it, and I wanted to wear a little bit more. The same thing with the Rinsey one, which is incredible. I put in the Thirsty and the Orgy one because like it's neutral, and this is all matte, and this row here on this palette of metallics is just incredible, and it really pairs up beautiful. That's why I put this two here. I put in the Tati Beauty because like it's a cool, very beautiful, stable palette for eyeshadow, and it's very neutral. That's what I love to wear on my daily basis. I put in the Gold palette and the Biba palette from Natasha Denona because I love Natasha Denona palettes, and these are the ones that I gravitate towards my daily basis from her brand. That's why. The Music Glitter palette, like I was telling you about, love it. Wear It's Death. The Moon Dust is just to force myself to use her. Like I said, if I don't wear it in the next 6 months, I will declutter her. That's why she's going to be here. The same thing with the VZ Art palette. It's just to give her a second chance. Otherwise, she's going. But for now, she's going to be on my vanity in front because I really want to try and wear her out. Otherwise, she's going. And I'm gonna keep this in the back like this, very tidy up. This is just to force myself to use these palettes and to try and like make a rotation towards them. I do think I still have a lot of palettes here that whatever, like, but yeah, this is what I'm gonna put in my vanity. And in my makeup bag to take to work, I'm gonna put this too, like the nudes, because I'm only allowed to wear nudes on the work. And this has the mattes that I need, and like shimmers if I want to on the go, and the bright matte in case I want to do a pop of color at some point. I'm gonna keep this on my makeup bag.
I forgot to count how many I kept, but I'm gonna get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm gonna get rid
of 13 palettes. I'm really proud of myself because I thought I wasn't going to get rid of anything. I still need to go through a few drawers like foundations, powders, and everything, but for now I'm gonna get rid of these palettes. I'm gonna give some to friends and family, and a few I'm gonna sell because they're still brand new. But yeah, like I wasn't gonna wear these. Most likely there are palettes there that I'm also not gonna wear, and maybe later I will do a declutter. But I forgot to film my last declutter, and I had like 500 palettes, and I decided to sell them, most of them, and I only kept 75, and it's the number that I think that it's in there again, because I only bought like 10 or 15 palettes more when I'm gonna declutter like 13. So I think that's the number of palettes that I still have, except the ones that are to arrive yet, but still. I think from the pile that I left, I'm still going to declutter later on like 10 more palettes, but for now this is the bunch. It wasn't very impressive, I know, but my collection isn't that impressive as you may think, so this is actually a very good number to be decluttering in. Yeah, if you want more videos like this, thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Thank you.